Will you hand me my spinning box? Now go freak. Rah.
Ms. Norris, are you able to do Huerta?
Yes, Judge.
Then we will be on the record in 2022 CR 458, State of Kansas versus Kristen Nicole Huerta. Please announce appearances.
Amber Norris for the state.
Joshua Andrews on behalf of Ms. Huerta, who is also present.
Mr. Andrews, your client wanted a jury trial Wednesday for this one count of harassment by telecommunication device. How do you wish to plead?
Your Honor, we have received a plea offer from the state. I've discussed that plea offer with my client. At this time, I would defer to her as to whether she wants to accept that plea offer or proceed to trial.
Ms. Huerta, you've received a plea offer, is that right?
Been informed of my options, my very limited options.
Well, your option is to continue to plead not guilty and we can have a jury trial.
There's no point to all that. It's a waste of time.
Is it? Well, the other options would be to plead guilty, admit it, and proceed to sentencing, or you could plead no contest, not admitting it, not denying it.
Why does everybody else get the option to say that they're forced into making some kind of plea deal by somebody else by means of intimidation or threat, but not me?
Okay, I missed that. What did you say?
Why does everybody else get the option to be asked of whether or not they're being forced into a plea bargain or pleading guilty to something, whether they're being intimidated or forced into it by somebody else except for me?
Well, because we haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay, we haven't gotten to that point yet. Okay, good point.
You haven't told me that what your plea is. What are you wanting to do?
I mean, you know what? I'll just plead guilty as charged. It's no point to mess with the court system because, you know, I just don't feel like you guys understand basic bar none laws. I don't know. It's just as the codes are written, I don't feel like they're followed very well. That's my only point I have to make. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, you've been charged.
It's okay. I understand. I fully understand the encompassment of the law. Okay. And the stupid decisions that I made that were not so stupid, but rather a projection of my subconscious and my conscious worries about the safety of my children and my family in the appropriate respective order as they occurred. But that's okay. It's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter.
Have you had time to talk to Mr. Andrews?
I have had very limited time to speak with him, but that's okay. I mean, he's doing a great job. I mean, he's not doing anything more than, I mean, he's doing what he can. He's got a big caseload and he does a good job, you know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
do you need any more time to talk to him before we proceed today?
I mean,
or shall we proceed?
It's not going to do any good to proceed. I mean, to have more time to talk to him today because the decision of what needs to be done is not going to come to a resolution anytime soon.
Well, we are set for jury trial Wednesday, and you can have, since it's a misdemeanor, not 12, but 6 jurors decide the evidence. Or we can proceed with a plea, and you haven't told me what plea you want to proceed with. I mean, I don't think you've said, well, you've mentioned guilty, but I'm not sensing you're locked in on that. Do you want to admit that on September 19th of 2022 through the 20th day of September 2022 in Butler County, you used a telecommunications device to make or transmit some kind of...
That is true. That is true. However, the means, and if the whole entire interchange between the two of us were actually read through completely and not just cherry picked out, you would be able to see and understand my frantic concern and why I was sending those messages. And then you'd be able to see the full context that encompasses the entirety of the panic that I was having at that point in time, which then therefore it'd be stupid to consider it telecommunications harassment, because considering the circumstances, it is something that is very of an important nature that I feel personally is not worthy of being charged with harassment when I feel though my kids' safety and my family's safety is being threatened.
You're not very bright, are you?
Okay, well, Mr. Andrews, your attorney, suggested I spend a minute with you to make sure you entered the plea you wanted to enter, and that's what I'm trying to do. All of those things, if you have a defense, Mr. Andrews is, I'm sure, ready to present your evidence. But if you want to waive the jury trial and proceed to admit that you did use a telephone or such device to transmit a comment, request, suggestion, proposal, image, or text to this Douglas Penrod, and that you did it to abuse, threaten, or harass him, then I'll proceed with the plea if that's what you want to do.
What I would like to do is I would like there to be a complete overview and review of the text message in the context so that we could be understood as to the rationality or lack thereof at that point in time, considering the situation of which I was frantic. And
Okay,
concerning the nature of it, I wish that there was an ability to be able to review the evidence completely and not just select text messages, which do seem rather hostile or very insulting. However, if you take an overall look at the whole entire situation for what it's actually worth, then you'd probably understand better as to the reasoning, and the point that I'm trying to get across, which shouldn't be very hard to miss.
all right. Have you had time to go over the evidence with Mr. Andrews?
No, he's very busy. He does a great job though, but he's busy.
Well, did you ask to sit down and look at the evidence with him?
I mean, I would love to, yes.
Okay.
But every time I ask, I don't receive. So
Well, this happened
a long while ago.
September of 2022. I just need to know, Ms. Huerta, if you want to enter a plea or if you want to go to trial. And let a jury
I
decide.
feel as though that I don't know how to answer the question of which you're asking me because I feel as though my decisions are limited. I don't feel as though I'm being allotted the free will to make any choices. I don't feel as though the charge is even appropriate considering the situation. And I just don't feel it's justified to even have called the police on me in the first place.
I disagree.
Well, do you understand? That's why we're having this little exchange here, is to see if it's your free will or not.
No, I feel like I'm being forced into making a plea that I do not want to make because I feel like
Right.
there's underlying
Alright.
conditions that need to be reviewed.
All right, so you want to go to jury trial Wednesday? Is that
But I
right?
don't want to go to jury trial either because I feel like you guys are still just not going to listen to my point. And it's not a point that's very hard to listen or comprehend or grasp or see.
Who
It's
is
pretty
you?
clear. It's obvious. It's really obvious. The point that I'm trying to get across to you shouldn't be something of a nature that's impossible to hear or misunderstand, considering that the law is nothing but a bunch of words compiled together to manipulate or to basically appease the results that you're looking for. It shouldn't be hard to understand my last name, Werda, either, considering a dictionary is nothing but a word, a book for words. Well, there's only one word in the whole entire dictionary. That's one letter, and that's O. And it's written at the top of my forehead. I'm very concerned about the safety of my father and my children. And there's a good reason behind it.
All right. Mr. Andrews, have you addressed any kind of competency evaluation with your client or considered that?
Your Honor, my client has been in and out of mental health treatment throughout the pendency of this
Misdiagnosed.
case. At this point, frankly, I'm not sure what her current status is, and based on conversations with her, I had some concerns, but they hadn't yet risen to the level of requesting a competency evaluation. At this point, I think it may be that would be the best thing, is for me to request that competency evaluation.
Okay. So, Ms. Huerta, do you do any mental health therapy anywhere?
Yes, I do go to therapy. I go to counseling every week. I don't need your input.
Do you go to South Central by chance? South Central?
No, I do not any longer attend South Central.
Okay.
I am presently attending MHA at Countryside.
Okay. Well, where do you live? What town?
I currently reside in the city of Wichita in Sedgwick County.
Ms. Norris, what's your thought on whether we should do that just as a precaution or not?
Your Honor, I think it's not a bad idea, just based on what I've heard today, and then other things that have kind of gone on with this case in the past. But I think to ensure the process is understood, it would be probably the best course of action right now.
Ms. Huerta, I'm going to order that you submit to what's called a competency evaluation.
That's perfectly fine. Every URL address has a .com, a .org, or a .edu. It's whatever way you choose to take it. It's your free will to choose.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that you are able to understand
I'm perfectly competent, and I'm the only literate one, considering you can't read the letter O at the top of my forehead. It's only one letter of the alphabet. It's not very difficult to comprehend. But yes, continue. I'm listening. Go ahead.
You're the only one that is competent among those of us here today, you mean?
It's only one letter of the alphabet. It's not that difficult to be so literate that you would not be able to read one letter.
There she goes.
All right, so I'm going to order the competency evaluation.
Perfect. Go ahead.
And let's talk mechanically. Ms. Norris, if you could maybe do the paperwork ordering the evaluation. And then Mr. Andrews, if you can try and get the date. How do we usually do that, Ms. Norris?
Your Honor, once the paperwork has been submitted, usually it's usually probably about 7 days or less from the date the South Central actually gets the request. Although that will hinge probably upon the defendant presenting herself for purposes of the evaluation. And in a lot of the situations, the individuals are in custody. Mm-hmm. So the evaluator knows exactly where to find them and, how to make them available. So that would be the only concern. So I would suggest maybe a review hearing regarding the report that we'll get from South Central, maybe in 3 weeks. That should maybe give us enough time to get paperwork done, and for maybe Mr. Andrews to help her schedule a time with South Central that will work for the evaluation, and then for them to get us a report.
Well, that is my concern, that she's not in custody, and so I'm thinking, Mr. Andrews, do you have any trouble reaching her by phone if you need to?
Your Honor, I've been able to reach her by phone in the past. I do have an email address for her, and my understanding is that she has a social worker with her right now that I would hope would be able to help facilitate that.
All right. Is there a social worker with Ms. Huerta right now?
Yes, this is Carrie.
Carrie, what agency are you with?
I can't hear what she's saying. She's with MHA, Mental Health Association.
And that's in Wichita?
I do believe, yes.
Let's ask Miss Carrie there. What's your last name, Carrie? If I may ask.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
If I may ask what your last name is?
It's Towns, Towns.
And is it Carrie with the C?
Kari.
Thank you. So you're her, what's your title?
I'm her case manager.
Case manager, and you're with an organization called MHA, Mental Health Associates?
Mental Health Association, South Central.
I don't know if there's someone in your agency could do that, but typically I'm used to using South Central Mental Health.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with it.
And so I'm going to order that within the next 48 hours she gets an appointment set up. I don't know how soon they can get her in. Give us probably a day or two to get that journal entry over there. But yeah, she needs to get that appointment set up and get that done. And then the suggestion was for a review in 3 weeks. Do we have a docket, Savannah? We can put that on in 3 weeks. We can probably just put it on misdemeanor control, can't we, counsel?
That would be fine, Your Honor.
That's fine, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Savannah, what was that?
I was gonna say 3 weeks from today would be February 26th. We can do, and that would be at 9 a.m.
It looks like I'm already scheduled on that docket, so that would work perfect for me.
Very good. So, Ms. Towns, I'm delighted that you're here and going to help us cut through some problems that we might otherwise have without your presence. So thank you. All
Said
right.
February 26th at 9.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will continue you, Ms. Huerta, on your bond to have no contact with Douglas Penrod and to be present February 26th at 9 a.m. by Zoom again.
Okay. And then so Wednesday she does not need to come in person, correct?
Right. She does not have to be here Wednesday. We'll continue that trial. And also,
9 a.m.
a condition of your bond, Ms. Huerta, is that you get that evaluation, actually have the evaluation within the week. And make sure she signs any releases to get that back to Mr. Andrews, Ms. Norris, the court.
And Your Honor, I don't think that that's one that requires releases because it's court ordered. And so the report should be forwarded to the state, the defense, and also to the court without releases being required because of the court order.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Norris, for that clarification. Anything else from anyone?
No, on this matter, Your Honor.
Ms. Huerta, anything before I let you go?
No, thank you for your time. I am appreciative that you took some time out to speak with me about my options, and thank you for the administration of the competency exam so that way we can see where my competency does or does not lie.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you, and we'll be in recess, so you may disconnect the call at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. He needs an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Green, we're going to start bringing people in person. People going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No, I know.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. But trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs the drink.